Good day, I am Sir Pat, and today I will tell you what you need to do for our week 3 of our Mathematics 8 module. So I will give you some example as guide in order for you to solve some mathematical statement that are given on your learning task 1 to 5. Okay, so let's start with your learning task 1. So your direction for learning task 1 is you need to add and subtract the following statements, the following mathematical statements. So on your first two givens, we have here two fractions. So I will give you some examples for that. So for my example, I have here 3 over 5 plus 4 over 5. And also we have here 3 over 8 minus 7 over 10. Now, as you can see here on our first given, we have the same denominator, which is 5. If two or more fractions have the same denominator, we call this as similar fraction, or SF. Yeah. So similar fractions. And also, and for this second given, we have here 3 over 8 minus 7 over 10. As you can see here, we have different denominator. If we have 8 on the first fraction and 10 for the second fraction. So we call that as the similar fraction. Maybe you already know this part because this is also a topic from elementary times. So this is just a review. So in order for you to add or subtract similar fractions, this is the first step. You just need to look what is our denominator. Again, this is applicable for our similar fractions. Now, so we need to add 3 over 5 plus 4 over 5. So let's look for the denominator. So our denominator here is 5. So we just need to copy 5 as denominator. That is very first step. Next, after you copy the denominator, you just need to apply the operations on the numerator. So our numerator here is 3 plus the second one, 4. Okay. So nakita. Okay, so we have here 3 plus 4. We need to apply the operation, and that is addition. So 3 plus 4, that will be 7 over, again, copy the denominator, 5. So the final answer will be 7 over 5. Now, so that will be for similar fractions. Again, this is this part, or this method is applicable only on our similar fraction. Now, let's go now for our dissimilar fraction, for addition and subtraction of dissimilar fraction. So let's do the second given. Again, so we have here 3 over 8 minus 7 over 10. So let's have this one, this line, or our fraction line. Some of my colleagues called that as division line. Okay. So we have here different denominators, 8 and 10. So if we have this kind of fractions, different groups of fractions, so we need to find the least common denominator, or the walang kamatayang LCD. Yan. LCD tayo. So we need to do the LCD for these two fractions. Now, we need to find the least common denominator of 8 and 10. So that's correct, 40. After we find the LCD, or the least common denominator, we need to divide that on the first denominator, then multiply on the first numerator. Let's do that. So we have here 40 divided by 8. That would be that would be 5, times 5, oh, sorry, that would be 5 times 3, that would be 15. That would be 15 minus, copy the what do you call this, the operation, yeah. The operation, that will be subtraction. So, and then let's do that part on the second one. 40 divided by 10, that would be 4, times 7, that would be 28. Okay, so we have here 15 minus 28, that will be over 40. So let's do the operation on the numerator. 15 minus 28, that would be, what will be the answer kaya? So that will be 3 and 1. So that will be 13. But our we have here the negative number is greater than the positive number, which is 15. So that will be, the answer must be in negative. So that will be negative 13 over 40. So the answer must be 13 over 40. And that will be the final answer. Sir, possible po ba na ang answer po namin is in simplified form? Yes, if possible. So if we see some fractions na pwedeng i-simplify, then let's simplify our answer, because that will be our final answer. Okay. Okay, so for our second scenario, we have here x squared plus 3x minus 2x plus 5x minus 10 plus 4. So before we answer that mathematical statement or mathematical phrase, or what we so-called mathematical expression, let's look for the first three expressions. So we have here x squared plus 2x, 3x minus 4x, and x squared plus x. So let's answer this one. So x squared plus 2x, that would be 3x squared. Okay, so sir, why 3x squared? So in order to add these two, we need to look first for our numerical coefficient. So the numerical coefficient of x squared, that would be 1, or the invisible 1. I call that as a ghost number because it is always on the left side of the literal coefficient. So that would be 1. Then plus 2, that would be 3. So that would be 3x squared. We just need to copy the literal coefficient and the exponent. Next, so we have here sorry for that, 3x minus 4x. So on our previous lessons, we can subtract 3x to 4x, and that would be negative 1x, or simply negative x. So what is the principle behind those two expressions? So in order to add that, we just need to look for the exponent. So we have here 2. We can add that 2 expression if they have the same exponent. So x squared plus 2x squared, that would be 2x squared. And also 3x minus 4x is equal to x, negative x. Sorry for that. Sir, what is the exponent of x? That would be 1. Again, that is a ghost number because it even though we didn't write number 1 on the exponent, it's still 1. How about this one? X squared plus x. Can we add these two variables? No, it is still x squared plus x, because they have different exponent. The exponent of x squared, that would be 2, and the exponent of x, that would be 1. So that will be still x squared plus x. So now let's move on to our expression. So x squared plus 3x squared minus 2x plus 5x minus 10 plus 4. So now, so again, we need to look if the exponents are the same. So x squared and 3x squared. So we can add or subtract those two. So plus x squared plus 3x squared, that would be 4x squared. Next, negative 2x plus 5x. So that would be plus 3x. Then the other one, negative 10 plus 4, that would be negative 6. So the final answer for this is 4x squared plus 3x minus 6. So that will be the scenario for the last two items for our learning task number 1. Okay, so for the learning task number 2, directions will be perform the indicated operation. So again, I will set some examples as guide in order for you to answer the learning task number 2. Now, so let's have the first one. So we have here 3x over x minus 2 minus x over x minus 2. So now we have here again two rational expressions. Yeah, so we have, so as you can see here, as you observe, we have here x minus 2 for the first denominator, and the other denominator is also x minus 2. So again, if we have the same denominator, we can call that as similar fraction. And if we add or subtract similar fraction, so the first step is very easy. Again, we just need to copy the denominator. So that will be x minus 2. Next, we can copy the denominator, numerator, sorry for that. So we copy this one, 3x. Then the operation to be used, that will be subtraction, minus x. That will be equal to, yeah, so we just need to do the operation to be used for the numerator. So that will be 3x minus x, that would be 2x. Over, copy the numerator, x minus 2. And that will be the final answer. That will be 2x over x minus 2. Let's have the first one. The second one. Okay, so we have here the quantity of x over 5 over x over 5 times the quantity of 3x plus 3x over x minus 1. Okay, so let's multiply the two fractions. So if we multiply the two fractions, the basic principle for multiplication of that will be numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. Let's do this one. X times 3x, that will be 1 times 3, that will be 3. X times x, that will be x squared. Sir, why x squared? In multiplying variables, we just add the two exponents. So as you can see here, even if we didn't see the exponent, that is automatically 1. So 1 plus 1, that will be 2. So that will be 3x squared, or yeah, 3x squared. Okay, that will be over 2. 5 times the quantity of x minus 1. So we have here a monomial, that will be 5, and a binomial x minus 1. So in order to multiply monomial to in order to multiply monomial to binomial, we just need to use distributive property. So we need to distribute 5 to x and to negative 1. So let's multiply 5 times x, that will be 5x, and then 5 times negative 1, that will be negative 5. And that's it. The final answer will be 3x squared over 5x over 5. That will be the final answer. Let's go to the last one of my example for learning task number 2. Okay, so let's have this one. X over x minus 1 divided by 6 over x squared minus 2x plus 1. So the division, the operation to be used will be division. Okay, so basic principles of division. So first, we need to interchange division to multiplication. But after you do that, you need to reciprocate, you need to reciprocate the second fraction. Let's do that. So let's copy the first one. 6 over x minus 1. Then, again, change the operation to be used from division to multiplication. Yeah. So, automatic multiplication na yun. So, next, we need to reciprocate. Balik ta rin. So, that will be x squared minus 2x plus 1 all over 6. So that will be the process. Again, interchange division to multiplication and then reciprocate. We need to reciprocate the second fraction. Let's move on. So that will be equal to. Now, so we have here x squared. By the way, in order to make our life easy, so ganito na lang ang gawin natin. We need to interchange this expression, x squared minus 2x plus 1, to their factors. So what are the factors of this trinomial? So that would be, let's copy this one, 6 over x minus 1. That would be, so what the factors of x squared minus 2x plus 1, that would be x minus 1 and x minus 1. Because if you multiply those two binomials, the answer must be this trinomial. And as you can see here, we have the same binomial because this is the square of binomial. Okay, that will be over 6. That will be equal to. So multiplication, we can also use cancellation method. We are just not using cancellation as to cancel. So because if we say cancellation method for multiplication, we are just dividing the two same numbers or variables, and yeah, parang siyang nagka-cancel. Just like this one. 6 divided by 6, that would be 1. So yeah. So, na-cancel. So, also, we have here the first x minus 1. We can cancel out that because we have another x minus 1 doon sa denominator. So, that will be also 1 and that will be also 1. Ano yung natira? The remaining binomial will be x minus 1 and that will be the final answer. So, that will be all for learning task number 2. Okay, so this is for the learning task number 3. So, for the learning task number 3, we are just need to add and subtract rational expressions. So, for the basic principle for that, so we have here a over b plus c over d. So, how do we add or subtract rational expressions? So, the basic principle is this. Now, so in order to add these two different kinds of fractions with different different denominators, so again, if we say different denominators, they are called dissimilar fractions. So if we need to add or subtract dissimilar fractions, we need to find the LCD of that. But how do we find the LCD of B and D. That's very difficult. So, in order to do that, we just need to multiply the two variables. So, let's multiply. That would be B over D. So, that will be the first step. Again, this is applicable for rational expressions. Next. So, in order, after we find the LCD of B and D, and which is BD divided by B, so, ang matitira na lang sa kanya is D. Cancel out na yung letter B. Then, D times A, so that will be A, D. Kung mapapansin nyo, we are just multiply D to A, and that will be AD. So, ibig sabihin, applicable din siya sa ganitong way. And just need to copy the operation to be used. It is either addition or subtraction. So, that will be BC. So, that will be the basic principle for that. So, again, AB plus CD, we just need to multiply the denominator, so that will be D. Then, the multiplication of A and D, so that will be AD. Then, copy the operation to be used. It's either it's either addition or subtraction. So, for this scenario, that will be addition, plus, then, the multiplication of this other diagonal, so that will be BC. So, that will be the basic principle. Okay, so, after I discuss that basic principle, let's do this first example for learning task number 3. So, let's have this one. 3 over 4x minus 2 over 7x. So, let's answer that using the principle that I discussed to you earlier. So, again, dun sa una kong pinakita, we are just need to multiply the denominator. So, 4x times 7x, that would be 4 times 7, that would be 28. Then, x times x, that will be x squared. Okay, that's multiply at this diagonal. So, 7x times 3. So, 7x times 3, that will be 21x. Copy the operation to be used. That will be subtraction. Then, this diagonal, 4x times 2, that will be 8x. So, can we subtract? Yes, that we can subtract 21x to 8x. So, 21x minus 8x, that would be 12. That would be 13x over 28. The 28x squared. Is this the final answer? No, because we can cancel out, or we can divide x over x squared. So, we can cancel out x, we can cancel out 2, and that will become 1, and that will be 13 over 28x. Okay, so for the learning task number 4, we need to multiply and divide rational expressions. So, let's have this first example. So, let's have 4a squared plus b cubed over 3 multiply to 6 over a cubed. So, kanina, sinabi ko sa inyo the basic principle of multiplication of fractions. So, again, sinabi ko nga sa inyo kanina na in order to multiply this kind of fractions, we need to multiply numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. So, we can use that. But we have a simply, if we need to make it simpler, I can show you this technique para mas simple yung sagot natin. Ano po? So, let's have this one. So, we can use the cancellation method in order for us to have a simplified answer for multiplication. Again, for multiplications only lamang po ito. Okay, so let's have this one. So we have here, we can cancel out the same variable and same, same variable. So let's have this one. Let's have a squared and a cubed. So we have here a squared over a cubed. So we can cancel out a squared. Then we can cancel out here 3 by 2. So matitira na lamang sa kanya is 1. Yan. So cancel na siya. Na-cancel na yung a squared. Natira na sa kanya is isang a. Let's have this one. 6 and 3. So we can cancel out 3. Because 3 divided by 3 is 1. And 6 divided by 3, that would be 2. Meron ka ba? Mukhang wala na yata. Ano? So let's now multiply. 4 times 2, that would be 8. Then, b cube. Tapos ang natira sa baba, isang a na lamang. That would be a. And that would be the final answer or the simplified answer for this example. Okay, so for division, so let's have this one. X squared plus 4x plus 4 over x plus 3 divided by x squared plus 5x plus 6 divided by x squared minus 9. So, we have here division. So, for the basic principle, nasabi ko na yun sa inyo kanina, we need to change division sign to multiplication. And then the second fraction, we need to reciprocate. So let's do that. So let's have this one. So let's copy the first item. Or sorry, so the first fraction. So that would be x squared plus 4x plus 4 over x plus 3 multiplied to the quantity of x squared minus 9 over x squared plus 5x plus 6. So then we can now use multiplication for this part. But in order to do that, in order to have a simplified answer, kasi lagi naman simple ang kailangan nating sagot, let's factorize those trinomials and some binomials that we see on our example. So let's factor x squared plus 4x plus 4. For x squared plus 4x plus 4, that will be x plus 2. Oh, sorry. The quantity of x plus 2 multiply to x plus 2 over x plus 3. Yan. So that x plus 2 and x plus 2, if we multiply those two binomials, the answer must be that trinomial. Multiply to x squared minus 9. So let's factorize that. So we are seeing the sum and difference of two fractions of two binomials. So that will be x plus 3 and x minus 3. Yeah, that is the sum and difference of two binomials. If we multiply x plus 3 and x minus 3, this must be the answer. Over factor. So the factor of x squared plus 5x plus 6. The very technique that I use, the basic technique yung ginagamit ko we need to think a two number that if we multiply, that would be 6. And if we add, that would be 5. Yun yung pinaka-technique ko on factoring trinomial. So, we need to think of a number. So, ano ba yung dalawang numero na pag minultiply ko ay 6? So, that will be 2 and 3. Yung bang 2 and 3 na yun, pag pinag-add is 5. That's correct. So, the two factors must be x plus 3 and x plus 2. Nakakuha po. Yan. So, yun lamang yung technique na ginagamit ko. So now, we can use cancellation method. I can cancel out this one. Ano pa ba nakikita ko? Ito. Ano pa ba natira? May isa pang x. Wala na. So, ang natira na lamang ay the quantity of x plus 2 times the quantity of x minus 3 over x plus 3. Final answer? Hindi pa po. We need to multiply the two binomials. So that will become, how multiplication of binomials, we need to use FOIL method. First term, x times x, that would be x squared. Outer term, x times negative 3, that will be negative 3x. Inner, 2 times x, that will be plus 2x. 2 times negative 3, that will be negative 6 over x plus 3. Last na, i-add na natin yung dalawa. Negative 3 plus 2x, negative 3x plus 2x, that will be negative x. So this must be x squared minus x minus 6 over x plus 2. And that would be the final answer for our example.